Hey, yo, check this out. It's DJ Khaled. It's the first one, and we got the legendary, my family, my brother, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, what's good? Who influenced you as a rapper when you was making Black Burner and Block is Hot?
Missy Elliott. That was my favorite rap because that would be why I was making so many sounds. But you know, Missy was into the whole, you know what I mean? All that. She about to make some, you know what I mean? He had. So when Manny Fresh would get you in the studio, he gonna remind you, hey, you need to throw that in there. I was like, man, he want me to do a song for every damn line. And so the Block Burner song was my best favorite song because my favorite artist was Missy Elliott.
So what about Block is Hot?
Block is Hot was an example of what happened because of Block Burner. I might have just said the block is hot, the block is hot. Manny let me remind me, hey, you need to throw that, you need to throw that in there. That's Manny Fresh for real. He gets it, plain and simple. The start of my career came
very
after
close.
Biggie and Pac.
Very
so
close.
when you have those people that just left, you gotta back that up.
You made a song called Best Rapper Alive. That's one of your nicknames, and we call you that because it's the truth.
That came from my city. That came from me putting those mixtapes out in my city. When I was putting these mixtapes out, this was against Baby and them Will. They didn't want this.
And that was like the biggest no ever.
Yeah, that's the money.
That's the money.
Exactly, but so the way he looked at it though was, that's the youngest.
Everybody want to see Wayne to show you love and give you that hug and welcome back home. I think I was like the second person you let in the studio and recorded a song for me. My nerves is bad. I'm like, oh my God, I got one. Like, this man, he fresh home. This man just came home talking crazy. Look at the numbers. I don't think they doing it bigger than Lil Wayne as an executive.
Nah, they don't give me that. But I love the reason why. Plain and simple, is because I'm still a monster.
Yo, I gotta tell this story one time too. I never told you this. So you came home from your vacation. That's what we're gonna call it. And you just came home. I think like you came home and somehow you was in the studio. You usually be in the studio to the right, but for that day you was in the one in the middle at Hit Factory. And I'll never forget because everybody is in town, artists, producers, everybody want to see Wayne to show you love and give you that hug and welcome back home. And at the same time as, yo, if you in a creative mode, let's capture it because we know it's a moment. Not gonna lie to you, man, like, outside, and I think I was like the second person you let in the studio and recorded a song for me. That time, Welcome to My Hood verse. Bitch, I'm on probation. That was your first line. Bitch, I'm on probation. So I'm like, this shit crazy. Like, this man just came home talking crazy. My nerves is bad. Bitch, I'm on probation. My nerves is bad. I'm like, oh my God, I got one. Like, this man, he fresh home. So I'm outside. And I'm not going to name names, but it was people outside, and they seen the smile on my face, and they like, you got a verse already? I said, man, that's my brother, man. I swear to God, man. I said, Wayne loved me. I said, I'm trying to explain, and I'm sitting in the back of my car. I'm just like, man. And I seen people waiting, and some people didn't make it in the room. You know what I'm saying? Not because you know, you busy.
Exactly.
You only can do certain amount of things. And at the same time, it's like, I
remember, telling Mac when I would find out that those who were there didn't get to see me because I remember having Mac to, just let them know, that person know my apologies and shit. I remember that. On J album, he had this song, I got the lyrics tattooed on me. I think it was In My Lifetime called the Volume 1. I remember songs by numbers. It's number 4 on that motherfucker. And I don't even know, every day I'm living with stress. Got up out the shoes, you think a nigga caress. Can't even enjoy myself at a party unless I'm on the dance floor, hot as vest. You think I'm fucking these chicks, right? I'm trying not to brush against their chest. You get a lawsuit for shit like that. I feel trapped. I swear to everything. When I leave this earth, it's gonna be on both feet, never knees in the dirt.
Before Lil Wayne, there was Baby D. And so Baby D was the original rap name before Lil Wayne?
I was in a group before the Hot Boys, before Juvenile came to Cash Money, before Turk came to Cash Money. It was just me and BG. And his name wasn't BG. We were a group called the BGs. His name was just plain Doogie, and my name was Baby D. The album, there was no picture on the album, and it just said BGZ. For some reason, people started calling him BGZ. They rolled with it. And at that same time, my mama took me away. My mom was like, you ain't no rapper. She couldn't deal. She ain't really fuck with it. She ain't feel what was going on. So it was cool for me. My mom, you know, she was doctor, lawyer type of thing. You know what I mean? Like rap shit ain't gonna go. Doogie ain't stopped rapping. They had to keep it going. So he had to be the BGs. You know what I mean? So changed that to BG. Crazy. And that's how he became BG.
Speaking of that record, that album, that's when I was working at Odyssey Records. I remember because Birdman and Slim used to come, and I don't even remember. I think it was like one of them old Benzes, Benzes, and he would pull up in front of Carrollton and pull out his trunk a bunch of tapes, and he would come drop them off on the counter, and I would have to report them in to your man Gary. I used to own Odyssey, and as soon as he dropped them off, I swear to you, I try to tell this story to everybody. I don't know if they believe me, but I would call them like an hour later and be like, yo, everything's gone, sold out.
Wow.
At that time, it's when they had fax machines and shit in the back of the office. I'll never forget because all the record companies used to call. This was before, I guess, he had his deal. And the record companies used to call the record store, and I would pick up and be like, yo, is it really true that y'all selling that many tapes and CDs? I'm like, oh, nah, this shit real.
Lil Wayne, way back then, when you want to buy a cassette, you go to Odyssey Records. What was Odyssey Records?
You go to Odyssey Records right in the Carlton Shopping Center, and you would, and on a nice day, you'd find DJ Khaled in there DJing and selling records.
I shot at Juvie.
It was 400 around that nigga for real.
I'm not gonna tell the story, but I'm just I'll never forget a day with Juvie. He a real one, and I see how his raps connected officially that day. He a real one.
Bro, that man really just made his conversations rhyme. That was his regular, everyday conversation talking to you. That bitch got a big booty, huh? Literally, that's how he rapped, bro. He literally, his conversations was, and that was another thing too, man. When you listen to Juvie and BG verses, their verses came from the conversation that they had when they pulled up to the studio. Every verse they ever spit, they just pulled up to the studio and just came in that motherfucker and said, man, you know that nigga such and such just shot such and such. And Stunner like, you lying. I went to school with him. He was beefing with that blah. I knew them niggas was gonna kill him, bro. I knew them niggas was gonna kill him. Boom, cut the beat on. That's what they verse about. So if you ever thought we was making that, nah, I was making my shit up. You know what I mean? Because I was still going to school every day. I was fighting, and if that's the biggest thing I ever had to do at the time was shoulder nudge a nigga. At the time, these niggas was really dealing with this shit. You got to remember, when I was putting these mixtapes out, this was against Baby and them Will. They didn't want this.
That time, that was like the biggest no-no ever.
Exactly, but the way he looked at it, though, was that's the youngest. You know what I mean? So let him do it. He didn't even comprehend what I was doing.
You telling the truth, because me and you made, this is before Carter 3 came out. So it's really, this is a time where everybody waiting for you to come with an album. You just came to Miami, and me and you made Suffix.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was a mixtape. And I remember you let me host it and put the shit together with you in the studio, Circle House. But I'll never forget that, like, Cal, you sure this is okay to put a tape out with Wayne? I'm like, what you mean? Wayne told me I could put a tape out. What the fuck, I'm not going to put a tape out? You don't see me in the studio with the guy? Like, I'm not making this shit up. This his voice. Like, but, you know, everybody looked at it like, fucking sure you going to do that? Because I'm like, the man helping me with the artwork and everything. What are you talking about? What was the energy, especially with a record like that time in New Orleans?
Just speaking of murder capital real quick, man, let me tell you how different times are. We were the murder capital, bro. We had 580 murders. And we called ourselves the local 580. Bro, you know how that's nothing now to any city. Chicago, 580, they doing that in like a week.
No, it's crazy.
It's terrible, man. But what I noticed at the time, because I was so young, I made people pay attention. And what I mean by that is when Juvie and BG, they killing, they will put out whatever they putting out. Them killers in the city, they letting you know, man, we riding to this. You know what I mean? They say, I'm standing next to them in the club, and I'm with BG, I'm with Juvie, and I know the killers. They coming in there, and they man, that fucking number 3, I'm telling you. So I was like, you know, I was like, I wanted that. I was like, damn, I want a nigga to be like that. So I know when my shit came out, and I see these same guys, it's a total difference. They're paying attention. They're not coming up to me, boy, that fucking boy, I'm telling you, I fucked that hoe off of that. Or I slapped him, and that shit made me want to go get that nigga. It'll be, say, bro, you better than all them niggas. Bro, you a bad motherfucker, bro. It was totally different. So what I mean by that is, when I put my album out during that era, I almost said stop the damn thing. But anybody who gave it an ear, gave it an eye, they paid attention to it, and nothing else mattered.